but go for it. It's if you can't get the idea out of your head, then you don't want to die regretting it.
Hello, and you're with Aveline Clark on the Six Star Business Podcast, where we have conversations about what it takes to be six star as a six-star leader in a six-star business in a six-star world. And in today's episode, I have the lovely Corey Sebest from Germany as my co-host, and we've sat down with Tino Go from the USA, based in San Francisco. Tino is an innovator at heart, and he has taken his genius along with all of his skills, and he's figured out a way to solve a problem in the manufacturing industry. Not only that, it impacts the environment, people, price, distribution, a whole lot of things. And he's really done an Uber in his area, as in he's done an Uber on this area of manufacturing. It's really, really exciting to see. There's so much gold that came out of this conversation as well, just tapping into how Tino thinks and what drove him to create this and come up with this in the first place. There's a lot to be learnt from this, and I hope that it inspires those who are listening to believe and understand that you can create anything, and there's opportunities all around us all the time. So sit back and enjoy this lovely episode with Tino Go. Hello, and here we are. It's another fun, exciting conversation on the Six Star Business Podcast. You're here with me, Aveline Clark, and my co-host today is Corey Sebest. How are you, Corey?
I'm good. Thanks for being here again.
Thanks for coming. And our guest is Tino Go. Tino, it is such a pleasure to have you. How are you today?
Yes.
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is, you're asking me to talk about my favorite topic.
That's perfect. That's why we do this. Yeah. And
Indeed.
yeah. And for those who aren't watching the video of this, Tino's got the best smile. He smiles, and when he said that about his favorite topic, and it just lit up the room.
Yeah. And I just need to add, I'm so happy that he is on, because I know Tino for a while now, and he has an outstanding business concept, and I will do everything, actually also together with you, going forward to promote what he's doing. Yeah, with the deeper purpose he's driving and tries to promote, and he's doing pretty well. Yeah. So exciting and excited to hear what you have to say. Yeah. Sorry.
It's all good. So yes, we're here to hear from you, Tino. To get us started, perhaps you can tell our listeners where you are in the world, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Yeah, so I'm currently in the Bay Area near San Francisco in the United States. And what we are doing is we're supporting local communities with our production method. So what we're doing is we're leveraging really commonplace but highly underused manufacturing robotics. And what we're doing with them is we're producing goods, furniture and cabinets in the short run in customers' hometowns. And so what that does is it deglobalizes the supply chain. And by bringing what is currently a global supply chain back into our home regions for the manufacturing and the production, it eliminates 50% or upwards of 50% of the cost structure that's normally wasted on inventory management and global transportation costs. And so ultimately, if you look at it, aside from building a business and that's more economically efficient, I'd like to eliminate mass production in every category of product that can be made using robotics, and in which there's a sufficient cost and freight arbitrage avoidance. It's a simple thing, actually.
Well, what he doesn't say is that when you would apply his business concept globally, you would get very close to what we know as circular economy. You would reduce waste by you can't imagine. You would cut the carbon footprint of all companies by so it's a very understated understatement how he talked about his business concept, but that's why we're here to help.
Yeah, it's if you think about all the global transportation, just the furniture industry in the U.S. Imports so many containers that the shipping of the global shipping of those containers emits enough CO2 to um, put 2 million cars on the road for a year. And by eliminating that shipping, not only do we save money and make it more efficient to produce and allow customization, but we're also eliminating all that CO2 emissions.
So at the moment, are you saying that the technology that you've got is specific to the custom furniture industry? Is that correct? Just so that for those listeners that aren't kind of really getting this initially, it'd be great if you could just talk us through what this really means in a practical live example.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Currently we're selling cabinets and furniture, wood furniture. But our sales efforts are only our business is to drive demand for underused machines, because there are 4,000 of these. They're called panel processing machines. They're CNC machines. They're digitally controlled in the U.S. and Canada, and on average, they're only being used 2 hours a day. And so we have all this idle production capacity that we can use for on-demand production. And because they're digital, we use that digital feature to produce customized goods for every individual. So yeah, we in a nutshell, we sell furniture and kitchen cabinets and other cabinets for the time being. But the Baru's business is all about connecting customers' desires with existing but underused robotics.
I really love this, Tino. It's just so fresh and innovative. Can you share with us a bit of your journey that brought you to where you are today, and also how you came up with this?
Yeah, so in 2014, I wanted to buy a bookcase for my own house. I couldn't find it, and which is a common occurrence, right? You can't find exactly what you want. But I discovered to get a bookcase made was a medieval process. I had to find a craftsperson. It was appalling how primitive the process was, and where even after you find that craftsman, even after you negotiate the pricing, you have to end up paying a lot, and you have to wait a long time, and there's so much emotional uncertainty around this purchase. It's ridiculous, and I found that appalling. And because I knew the state of software and the state of manufacturing automation had evolved to such a point that this automation, because it's digital, this automation should have been able to just read what was in my imagination, and it should have started producing. And that was the basic premise of the business. We have digital machines, so those digital machines should just read what's in our imagination and start producing exactly what we want. And so we built a business around that. And we even have a patent where the patent is on the use of augmented reality and virtual reality, not simply to see things, but actually to change within AR or VR, the object, and as you're changing the visual of that object, that's also changing the manufacturing instructions dynamically. And so that was like that's the ultimate link between what we're imagining and the manufacturing process. Because if you can see what you want and change it until you can see what you want, and have that then be produced, that's kind of awesome. It's like the Star Trek replicator. If there are any Star Trek fans out there.
You're right. It is awesome. And where's your expertise come from to understand all of this? Because it feels to be very specialized. Are you an engineer?
No, I'm just curious. I'm curious, and I'm curious, and I kind of put things together from first principles. Even as I said, that those machines are digital, so we should be able to instruct do this mind meld, brain to machine, and then I put together great teams, and then and my background for the past 20 years has been in corporate finance. So starting in investment banking, and then workouts and turnarounds, and then direct oversight of companies, either as a controller or CFO. And so I understand a little bit more profoundly the financial impact of this idea. If you can produce on demand in the customer's hometown, well, that eliminates a huge chunk of the cost structure of traditional operations in a global supply chain.
I'm just processing what you've said then, because it seems to me, and like what Corey said earlier, the scope of the impact of what you're doing is actually monumental. Should it go to other applications?
As we grow, as we become prominent, the method will be adopted by other industries. We'll be building our competitive moats like any other company, but eventually others will see the proof of concept that we're bringing to the world, and they will start to mimic and start to eliminate mass production supply chains, global supply chains in other areas. And so, if we can eliminate all the wasteful activities related to globalized supply chains and mass production, that would be a great thing. And so I do expect this to have a pretty profound impact, because there's been the concept that's been written about or talked about in international circles called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And the Fourth Industrial Revolution is, the First Industrial Revolution was the mechanization of steam and water. The Second Industrial Revolution was the widespread adoption of mass production techniques. The Third Industrial Revolution was the digitization of analog processes, during the 90s when things were getting digitized. The Fourth Industrial Revolution is actually creating umbrella operations around and connecting these digital silos, these digital activities. And in the woodworking space, it's sufficiently harmonized where we can create this virtual factory. And that's what Baru is doing with all of these underused machines. We've created a virtual factory. It's a virtual job shop, if you will. Because we don't have to produce in large quantities. We can produce one at a time. And because the machines are digital, they're extremely efficient.
So you're at the moment just in the US, is that correct?
That's right. Although I've spoken with Australians, I've spoken with Australians, and they're anxious to get the extra business to their shops too.
I bet. I bet Australia's got a big manufacturing hub, I guess. There's quite a lot of manufacturers here. So I could imagine that would be quite welcome. I'm fascinated to know who your influences are, if you have any. I mean, given this new space that you're in.
What do you mean by influencers?
Influences, maybe someone that you look up to, someone who's done it before, someone who's influenced your thinking or sparked an idea or a thought that's helped, pulled you along this journey to get you to where you are today.
It's I admire folks that pursue ideas that are bold, and I admire people who are who think radically, from a first principles basis. Elon Musk always talks about doing things from first principles, and essentially disregarding legacy practices, and implementing, executing based on the technology that is now available, as opposed to persisting with perhaps outmoded practices. And outside of innovation and outside of business, I always admire the folks that have high principles. Mandela and so many others.
Tino, what is your ultimate inner driver? The reason why I'm asking that is, you said you have been more than 2 decades in the corporate world, having some CFO positions, so decent income, I suppose. And then you have this vision, and actually you could take it easy, just crunch your numbers or let the numbers crunch by your controllers and all these guys. But you decided to step out with an idea, with a vision and a mission for yourself, which not everybody understands. And when we met, I mean, my brain was under fire. Yeah, a firework happened because I'm a system thinker like you. I know what the potential is, but you are facing an environment and the people in that environment, which are stuck so much into our current economy, where this what you are offering, presenting, is literally a threat to all established ways of making money, delivering products from A to Z, whatever it is. Yeah. And so knowing that there is a bumpy road ahead of me and is going to take a lot of efforts, time, energy, yeah, challenges. So what is it? What drives you? Yeah.
Isn't that
And this
fun?
is actually literally, I think, yeah. What? Yeah, of course it's fun. For me, it's fun. For me, it's fun.
I've even in my corporate jobs, I've always been driven to improve things. And those efforts weren't always appreciated. And ultimately, I think entrepreneurs have an inner drive to be entrepreneurs because they always feel undervalued within larger organizations. And I'm a big believer in efficiency. I think efficiency is inherently ethical. Avoidance of waste is inherently ethical. But ultimately, this was an idea I got into my head and I couldn't get it out. And so I had two choices. I could try and succeed or fail, or I could die regretting and watch someone else do it, because ultimately this is an it's an inevitable business model. People are going to be producing individualized products. Distributed manufacturing will exist. The technology's there. We've already proven it. And so, it's I just couldn't leave it alone.
I love that. Just couldn't leave it alone. You mentioned that you're excited and driven by efficiency, and I'm wondering, is that part of your bigger purpose, or if not, do you have a bigger purpose that you're kind of aware of and that you are working towards or are being pulled by?
Yeah, efficiency and justice. Efficiency sometimes is justice. In current business practices, after they mature for a while, players within the mature system, they become rent seekers, and that rent seeking is just inefficient. It causes bad practices to persist, and I'm not opposed to globalization per se, but when globalization overshoots and becomes harmful to local communities or to overseas communities, and when there's technology that allows for actually more value with less waste, better outcomes, for product wise and also community wise, why not?
When we met, you mentioned Uber, as in that was a model, or I guess a revolutionary, disruptive product that came to the market to create efficiency. And did you have that in mind when you were creating and working on Baru?
No, what I had in mind was all of the all of the white papers and studies that since the 70s that talked about mass customization and distributed manufacturing, and and various companies over the decades have tried it at an enterprise level. Most of them failed because of, I suspect, because of culture and because of the technology wasn't mature enough. So it's only, there's a reason we're starting with woodworking, because it's the easiest high volume category that is sufficiently where the data is sufficiently normalized, harmonized to create a digital operating method.
Mm. Right.
And also it's a category where there's enormous freight and inventory holding cost.
Sure. What's your outlook for growth in the US at the moment?
Yeah, last month our sales were 125,000, and as we're fulfilling those sales, we're also building the infrastructure, the communications infrastructure, and operating infrastructure that will allow us to scale to much higher volumes with much less effort. Because right now we're still doing a lot of hand cranking. My team is still part-time except for myself, and so in due course, within the next 12 months, I'm expecting over $3 million in annualized sales, and that should grow pretty quickly because all we're doing is we're just a sales and margin generating operation. We don't need to invest in factories or machinery or people. All of that is just it's on the supply side, it's a gig economy type of business.
Yeah.
I mean, Evelyn, just imagine startup companies who want to produce something, where Tino can step in with his business idea, and so they don't need to go for investments. They can straight start producing if they have this umbrella to connect those production facilities who are under leveraged. Yeah. And when Tino was sharing his revenue numbers with me, I said, "What?" And then I said to Tino, where the other 3 digits which are not seen there?
Yeah, it's been slow because I've actually struggled to get some seed investment because I think it might be, well, it's not a typical venture class type of industry that we're tapping into first, and so, but I'm confident that we'll be able to, because of our positioning, because of our competitive advantage versus the alternatives, and because of the problems that we're solving for our buyers, that yeah, we'll do okay.
Indeed, you will. Indeed. Have you met many other people like you along this journey?
Oh yeah, they're startup founders are very, very commonplace, more and more so. Especially, and I'm currently in the Bay Area. They seem to be everywhere,
Okay.
which is great.
And
Which is great.
yeah, I could imagine. And is there a way for you guys to connect and learn from each other?
Oh, of course. Uh, you can't help coming across startup founders or entrepreneurs in the Bay Area, and there are platforms like Lunch Club where I met Corey. And I mean, Lunch Club's awesome because you meet so many smart, engaging, enthusiastic, powerful people, and and so it's not only is it nourishing to my soul to meet all these people, but it's also fun. Sometimes it even leads to a professional outcome. But I also make an active effort to get out there and meet people and speak with people about what we're doing, and that's also part of my sales effort too, right?
Yeah, of course. So your customer, would you see that you have two customers, one being the manufacturing facility and one being the end user? So, or are you focused on one more than the other?
Yeah, I would say our manufacturers are collaborative partners because because ultimately we want to help them keep their machines busy, and as we use those machines for production, we benefit by the elimination of geography and the cost related to geography. And our customers are they're either businesses or individuals who buy from us, because we can, we're producing things effectively even in low volumes, like volumes of one. And but currently we're scaling with by selling customized kitchen cabinets and other cabinets to property flipping companies. The reason we're targeting them is they're repeat buyers, and they're educated educated buyers, and so they're easier customers. And also they don't have to live with the cabinets that we sell them, and it's a better quality than they can normally get at the warehouse, but ultimately it's not something that they're going to spend tons of time thinking over. They just want a competitively priced, rapidly delivered, high quality product to maximize the resale value of the house, and we offer that quite easily. And yeah, so and then our other customers that we're focused on are independent kitchen designers, because those people, they generally work by the hour, and so they can propose Baru cabinets, and it will be priced, with a standard grade material or luxury or ultra luxury materials, and it will still be towards the mass production, lower priced product line, as opposed to the true custom millwork, which is, the typical import warehouse of cabinets is around $350 linear foot on average, and custom millwork, is between $1,500 and $2,000 a linear foot in the Bay Area, and so we're positioned at that $400, $500, $600 a linear foot, but we're offering much better quality products, and everything is, you can purchase by the inch, so you can really optimize the design and the functionality of a kitchen in a home, especially in a legacy home where the kitchens are not the sizes of modern cabinets, and so that's yeah. So we're solving multiple problems, and we're offering high value at a reasonable price. And those kitchen designers, they will get a trade discount, and so they'll actually increase their earnings with us. They're offering a high quality product to their clients, who will end up being happier with our solution, and they'll also make more money.
Tino, as I said before, you have an outstanding business concept, and you're placing it in an economy which is actually aiming and purely operating under profit maximization, yeah, in the enterprise world. So all the things you just outlined are so much aligned to the circular economy, just generating win-win situation for everybody, getting back economy into countries, yeah, where industry went down due to globalization. So you're actually refostering, yeah, economy on a national level in those countries. So helping them to increase the BPD and all the other stuff, generating probably even new jobs. Yeah. So what is the downside of it? Is there a downside? And for whom is it the downside? Because for
Yeah.
all, coming back to what you said earlier, yeah, social aspects, yeah, where globalization starts harming on a national level, yeah, and where you're literally also helping to refoster the human part in the dehumanized economy we have today. Yeah, there must be also losers in a certain way. Yeah. So
Sure.
what you said, all are winners, but they're also losers. And how would you see that? Who are they, and where are they, and why are they losing?
Yeah. Producing locally on demand eliminates the need for warehousing and shipping, and so those are the losers. All of the petrol companies that are not making sales of diesel, all the shipping companies that aren't shipping containers, container makers, all of those people involved with industries of shipping and distribution, because we go directly from the customer, from the factory to the customer, because our business model is actually dependent on hyper local production, less than an hour away. And because beyond an hour, that's when the delivery or the freight class changes, right? We'll start needing packaging. We'll start needing a different type of carrier. Whereas less than an hour away, that's just local delivery. And so, yeah, so the people that are hurt are the people that depend on global supply chains and inventory management.
What about the production industry, those who are producing machineries? Because they got used to the fact that every company who owns machines is
Mhm.
under leveraging them, but that's the business to sell machines. And then you come around the corner offering this Uber adapted principle into the production world. So I would see that as a threat as well.
In I maybe in the far off future but generally the machines that we're initially leveraging are they are owned by the local factory they're owned because they are needed for their production. So these companies that own these machines, they're generally small companies under 20 employees, and these machines you can after financing, you can get them for about $120,000. So on a 5-year capital lease, that's $2,000 a month. That's half of a person's wages. A low wage person, a factory floor, half of a person's wages on the factory floor, and it gets that person's work done in 2 hours. That's why there's so many of these machines. That's why they're so underused. And so I don't think it will reduce the number of machines because they're needed for the small business.
But if you scale it up to the maximum you're capable to do with your business concept and you increase efficiency worldwide, there is less need because the production company capacity you don't need to actually boost up further because we have such a
Yeah,
low yield on every single machinery. Yeah.
yeah. But so we okay. Let's just take for example the cabinet industry. So at the one side of the spectrum, you have mass producers and distributors of mass-produced goods, generally centralized manufacturing and then shipped around the world for distribution. On the other end of the spectrum, you have custom mill workers. These people are manufacturing to design at a very high price, a very low efficiency, but they get these machines to increase their efficiency. And so they need these machines for their custom mill work, their business. I think that business will always exist. Maybe not in in 10 years, maybe it'll be less because there will be a lot more digital, direct digital to manufacturing. But in the short run, in the meantime, we're keeping these folks' machines busy and earning money when they're not using them. And so in the long run, yeah, it's hard to say that you know we it's true what you say, Corey, because if we have one machine serving approximately 800,000 people working 3 hours a day, Baru will be selling about $1 billion of goods. And so if we increase that to one machine every 400,000 people working the same amount of time, that will displace probably mass producers. because our local production is and all the cost savings from the global supply chain distribution allows us to actually produce higher quality goods for the same price. And so, yeah, I think for a lot of, I think there will be a cannibalization of the existing industry, but it will also cause the industry to grow, because how many times have you shopped for something and you couldn't find what you wanted and you just don't buy it? Well, what if everything that you decide, it's like, oh, I love that, and you mean I can get it in 100,000 different variants? That sounds, I'll just pick one of 100,000. That sounds very custom, and so I think it will bring buyers into the market also.
I mean, what I find fascinating is I was thinking ahead already what's going to happen in 5, 10 years. So you will actually ultimately gravitate a change. Yeah, a change, literally a disruption of the economy, how we produce today. That will be your impact. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was clear to me from when we met the first time.
Yeah, I mean, think of. I don't know if that I haven't been to Germany since I left in 1995, but I remember when I left, approximately 15% of the cars had oversized wheels, tires, brakes, and probably a better motor. And imagine if you could, in augmented reality, you could design your own body panels, and that. Wouldn't that be cool? And I bet a lot of those people would go for it. And so that's a different digital fabrication technology. It'll probably be 3D printed into a mold, or CNC cut the mold out of foam so that the carbon fiber can be laid in, or fiberglass. And but that's a product category that doesn't exist unless you're a race team.
I was about to say, anyone listening to this right now who heard that last comment from you, like, if it doesn't excite you, there's something wrong. It's like, hello, did you hear what he just said? Like, can you imagine what it would be like to design? I've got a book in my room. It's how to build a Formula One car. I don't need to read that anymore. I've got you, Tino. It's
I think what we are going to be a witness of is that he is going to become the second kind of Elon Musk in his area of expertise. So I'm pretty certain that this is going to happen. I have zero doubts. Zero.
oh,
Me neither.
yeah. Look
Yeah,
at that energy.
it's a fun journey anyway. Ultimately, we're doing something, as we grow, we make the world more efficient, and we're a software company, but we're creating factory floor job demand. Because for every 1 hour of machine utilization, you need factory floor labor, about 3 hours of factory floor labor.
Very good. As you were talking, like actually the whole way, it's just so amazing, everything that you're saying. When you go to the manufacturing partners and for the first time and you're introducing who you are and your concept, I'm wondering, what is it that gets them to say yes? As in, there's typically a couple of things. One is the numbers, but in my experience, if you have something that's bigger than yourself, as in a purpose and an impact that's bigger than yourself, that pulls people to you a lot faster than numbers does. And I'm just wondering what your experience has been with that.
Yeah, they're interested in more business, and we make it easy for them. They may have you know, I'm sure, you know, everyone has personal drivers, and but you know, they're just interested in the fact that we can generate more business on their idle machines, and we make it super easy for them, because the reason those machines are idle to begin with is they can't drive their own business through those machines. The bottlenecks are at the managerial and the design and engineering level. And so the fact that you know, we deliver the machine instructions and the materials, it makes it super easy for them and super profitable for them too. Um, but as we grow in volume, then we're going to share the economies of scale that, and you know, share in the benefits.
That's not only a partnership, this is a kind of symbiosis.
It is.
We're helping each other. And every time when you look when we start copy pasting something from nature, we are very successful in our world with what we're adapting, which has been grown and gone through all the evolution circles over millions of years. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, the reason we're doing it this way is because there have been other companies that tried to connect buyers with makers, but they always left too much friction on the buyer, on the customer side, or on the maker side. And so we've chosen to do as much as we can for both sides of the transaction to make it easy for both sides. And you know, by making it easy, we essentially develop an operating structure that will scale, and we can, you know, we can, that this is part of the, you know, oh, you know, Corey, you said symbiosis. I call it game theory. And yeah, so I think about incentives a lot. But ultimately, we're creating hyper-local ecosystems for local production. So deglobalizing supply chains.
And that's super exciting to a lot of people, not just in, you know, this first sort of industry or, you know, space. Um, what's the next phase for Baru? What's your next big goal?
Uh, Again, if I can get to 3 hours of machine utilization per day per machine, that will generate quite a large company right there. And you know, one machine per 800,000 people, that's a very low penetration rate in terms of and product sales and production. Uh, but of course, you know, we'd like that penetration to grow, and we'd like even more machines than one per 800,000 people. And but yeah, eventually, I'm expecting Baru to look a lot like eBay, where eBay has eBay Beanie Babies, eBay Antiques, eBay Motors, eBay Industrial, all of these categories. Baru will eventually have, you know, we have eBay Furniture, which was our pilot product, and then we're building Baru Cabinets. We've just been accepted into a government purchasing co-op that allows government and educational entities to buy without a bidding process. So we'll be engineering and designing things that those kinds of buyers will want. And also, we will accept other people's designs that we can, you know, because all of these manufacturers, they have quite a lot of designs sitting on a hard drive. We can help them monetize that too. So if, you know, if the brilliant CAD engineer designs a parametric Louis XIV desk, well, We can be selling to the Louis XIV replica desk in whatever dimensions are needed for the Berlin home, and the the designer and maker won't have to deal with shipping. They just collect royalties.
I'm watching Corey's face. He's like a kid in a candy shop. Come on, Corey. What? I know you want to ask him something.
I asked enough. I asked enough. For today.
Okay. So, Tino, you're out changing the world literally, and I just want to honor you for that, and thank you for showing up in, my world by Corey. And it's so exciting to hear what people can do, yeah, and really highlights that someone with a spark and an idea and a belief that they can, make a change can actually do that. So, yeah.
I just want to make a comment. Sixta is just approached his first anniversary. So, and Evelyn, myself, and all the people behind the scenes, we are really crunching our heads to figure out how to promote and support you guys more, the six-star leaders of today, but also the ones who are six-star in the sense of that they have those values imprinted on their genes, but unable to live up to their potential, which is inside them. Yeah. So kind of probably a mentoring program we're thinking of. Yeah. And for you guys, for those who are already six stars and who try to promote themselves, yeah, we are having some ideas we will share in a bit, yeah, to further foster that, yeah, to really make you known, to get you the right connections to the right people, whether these are VCs or angel investors or potential customers, future customers for you, to really start having a dialogue, yeah, being present, being heard, being seen, yeah, and most important, through the dialogue to understand what it is, what you guys are bringing to the world, yeah, and how this is going to impact the world in a better way, in a more meaningful way, in an ethical way, in a social way. So that's all actually what Six Star Business stands for, yeah.
Yeah, and ultimately, I always look for customers, collaborators, and currently we're looking for investors also. The customers, they can be businesses or individual consumers because our business model allows for that. Collaborators, I would love to find enterprise that would benefit from this augmented or virtual reality controller configurator for manufacturing processes. Because anything where the final product has to be customized, and it's more efficient to have a user mold it like a virtual Play-Doh or virtual modeling clay for digital production, I think would be a great collaboration partner for this technology. Yeah, and we are raising a round. It's a small round because we don't need a lot of money to make some significant milestones. And our next raise will be probably after we get to that $20 to $25 million revenue rate, and that'll be used for category expansion and globalization. And globalization for Baru just means a new website in every language that we care about, and a local marketing team.
Okay, then I would say let's get him what he needs, right? And have fun.
That would be awesome.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, Corey, thank you for saying what you did about Six Star. And that's exactly what we're all about and why we're here. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we can help you, Tino, to take this to the next level. That's our heartfelt commitment, really. And that's why we had you on the show as well. I'm conscious of the time. And I know, Corey, have you got any kind of last words or thoughts or questions for Tino?
No, I'm just happy that he was on today, that he shared his vision and mission, and that he has with me one of the first ambassadors, yeah, to spread the word. And then let's see, yeah, let's make it a joyride. Let's see. I mean, there must be some output with so much energy on both sides. So.
With as one of his ambassadors, Corey, you're going to get a T-shirt. Let's go with Tino.
For instance,
I don't know. It just came to me.
That's a good one.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you so much. Now, in closing, Tino, we'd like to ask our guests if you could leave us with any tidbits, advice, nuggets, anything that you'd like to share with our audience who are typically entrepreneurs and business owners. So is there something you'd like to leave them with today?
Yeah, I mean, go for it. You have to backtest your concept against the data that you accumulate over time. Evidence, and so that you're not deluding yourself in an unachievable dream, but go for it. It's, if you can't get the idea out of your head, then you don't want to die regretting it.
Thank you for that. I love that. It's you've said it a couple of times, and I think you said it as well on the first time we met. If you can't get that idea out of your head, there's something to it, and don't regret anything. Go get it. Thank you, Tino. I am very grateful for you coming into our world. Thank you for coming on the podcast today, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how Baru evolves and how we can help you, and to our next conversation.
I'm super appreciative also. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.